Hi, I'm Cody Alexander with MatchQuarters. We're going to take a look at this play between the Cowboys and the Jets and explain how you can get a man zone ID off of this. So the Cowboys are in their dime package. We have Curse, who is typically their down safety, right next to Bell, who plays their dime backer. You have LVE here, and we have a four down defensive line. Now, the nickelback is going to be Bland, and he is over here. So what we are going to get at the very beginning is a 3-by-1 by the Jets. Now, right now, this is a cover 3 contour. There is no doubt about it, and they're not even playing man because there is nobody stacked over the tight end. A lot of times offenses will get in a pre-snap position like a 3-by-1, and then they will shift into a 2-by-2. So that's what we get here by the Jets. We're going to get a 3-by-1 to get a man zone read. We can tell right now this is going to be zone, and the way that you can tell this is because of how everybody is aligned. If this defender was going to defend this tight end, he would be probably a little tighter to the ball, and he also wouldn't be walking backwards as we go. So once we get this ID, the quarterback changes the formation. We get a shift to a 2-by-2. Now, this is where the NFL and defenses really at the higher levels have gotten really, really good. Right now, in my mind, I'm thinking, man, this is simple. This is just going to be cover 3, probably some sort of a match cover 3, if not some sort of a spot drop. But as Wilson goes through his progression and he gets ready to accept the ball, you can see Curse start moving back into a deep zone. This is what you would call 2-roll, and this is what is really popular at the higher levels. In fact, it's so popular that PFF added this offseason middle of the field disguise percentages. They're starting to actually track this. This is how much defenses have kind of evolved within the past several years. So what Wilson now has to do is post-snap, he's got to figure out what the coverage is. Pre-snap, his read is cover 3. Post-snap, his read is now going to be a split field coverage. And in this is Tampa. So one way that you can understand how this is Tampa is that your Mike backer is going to run the pole. Now, there are different variations of this. In fact, the Cowboys run one where the middle safety actually steps down and he is the pole defender, and then both of the overhangs pop out. I call that 2-hole. This, we're going to get 2-roll. So instead of 3 cloud, a lot of people understand 3 cloud and know that as a roll coverage, meaning we're rolling the coverage to one side. We're going to play a flat corner. We're just changing the triangles within cover 3. So here, what we're going to get is a 2-roll. So we're going to get a cover 2 over here. Now, because we're getting the 2-roll side to the field side, I know the NFL plays the middle field, but we'll count the field side or the passing strength to the nickel. The corner over here has to play very aggressive. He's going to have a smash technique, meaning he needs to make contact with that receiver so that he doesn't undress his safety. So we're going to get a 2-roll concept. You're going to get your nickel defender, who's going to be the wall 2. He's looking at the eyes of Wilson. Wilson's eyes are directly back to the boundary or to the dime back. So he's now going to kind of compress and ride that hash. You can see LVE is working vertically. Once he sees that the ball is coming out, he's then going to hinge. This is where the dime probably needs to do a better job. He's looking at the back. He sees Wilson look. Wilson IDs that it's 2-roll, so he knows that he's got a tuck backer, and by tuck meaning that he's in the box, you can see that the dime is in the B gap. He knows he has a tuck backer, so he's going to then flip it to the snag route over here, and that's where he throws it. So you can see here he's throwing it. He needs to throw him a little bit further outside. When you know that you have an inside defender, quarterbacks are trying to get him to open up and throw it on that outside shoulder so that he can roll out right here. You have a squat technique. You have a squat technique here by the corner on the bottom. He's going to then funnel and work to the low hip and then get his eyes around. So we call this a peak technique. So you're going to get a peak technique. He has to get his eyes back. Notice how we don't get an out route, and then he will then clamp down. So the dime does a good job of getting there, and Wilson does a good job of throwing it out. So again, let's go back to the beginning. We get 3-by-1. I know that it's going to be zone coverage right now because 1 did not track. And typically 1 is the guy for them. Curse is the guy that stacks the tight end and plays man on the tight end for the Cowboys. As a motion, we get 2-by-2, and then we get two roll coverage. Wilson throws a snag away from the nickel because he doesn't have a full cover down by the backer. This is a great example of one, IDing the coverage pre-snap. Is it man? Is it zone? But also how defenses are giving pre-snap presentations, but post-snap changing the picture for the quarterback, making him have to sort it with the bullets flying towards him.